Welcome back to Radical and Relevant, where each day we explore the gospel of Jesus, the genius of the way of life that he is inviting us to. Today's reading is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verses 43 through 45. All were astonished at the majesty of God. But while they were all marveling at everything Jesus did, he said to his disciples, "Let these words sink into your ears, for the Son of Man is to be delivered into the hands of men." But they did not understand this saying, and it was concealed from them that they should not perceive it, and they were afraid to ask him about this saying. Wow, it's a short reading, but there's so much here, right? So the first thing is Jesus tells them, like, bad things are going to happen to me, but they're not able to hear it, and they don't understand what he's saying. They don't understand the significance of what he's saying. Of course, before too long, they're able to look back on these moments where Jesus was saying these things and they weren't understanding. Before too long, they were able to look back and say, wow, that was what Jesus was saying. I didn't understand. I had no idea, and the same thing happens to you and me, right? In our lives, we're like, things happen, we're just sort of blissfully unaware, and then a week later or a month later or a year later, then we're like, oh, that's what was going on. Or maybe it's 10 years later, we look back and say, oh, now I understand what God was doing in my life when he was doing that and that. What he was really doing was that and that. And, that's the gap we're constantly trying to close. What is that? It's like a delayed awareness. It's a delayed awareness. And what does God want us to have? God wants us to have present moment awareness. God wants us to be fully aware of what is happening to us in the present moment. And of course, that requires effort, that requires practice, that requires surrender, that requires deep, deep prayer and meditation, so that we can be fully present to who we are and where we are and what we're doing and who we're with, and what they're saying and what they're doing. He wants us to have present moment awareness. Be aware of things while they're actually happening. Be able to rejoice in them and be grateful for them. Let's go out into the world and be aware of whatever it is that's happening to us today. Let's be aware of it as it's happening to us. God bless you. Hope you have an amazing day. And remember, be bold, be Catholic.